Did your parents say something to you as a kid that still affects you today? I was 8 when my dad lost his job at the factory. The pink slip came on a Tuesday, and by Friday, everything had changed completely. Mom started clipping coupons obsessively, counting every penny twice. Dad would sit at the kitchen table with a calculator and a pile of bills, his forehead creased with worry lines that seemed to deepen each day. Money got tight real fast. While other kids got name-brand sneakers and designer backpacks, I wore hand-me-downs from Goodwill. My shoes had holes that I covered with duct tape, and my backpack was this faded green thing with a broken zipper that Dad fixed with safety pins and determination. The worst part was lunch. Mom would pack me peanut butter sandwiches in old bread bags because we couldn't afford lunch boxes anymore. She'd try to make them special by cutting them into triangles or adding a little note, but I could see the shame in her eyes every morning as she handed me that crinkled bag. At school, everyone sat in their usual groups. The popular kids had these elaborate lunch setups, thermoses, matching containers, snacks their moms bought from the expensive grocery store. One day, this kid Jake pointed at my sandwich bag and laughed loud enough for half the cafeteria to hear. "Is that your lunch? Or did you bring garbage from home?" The whole table erupted in laughter. Kids started pointing and whispering behind their hands. I felt my cheeks burn with embarrassment as I shoved the sandwich back in the bag. I wanted to disappear into the floor tiles. That afternoon, I walked home slower than usual, dreading having to tell my parents what happened. When I finally got home, I found Dad in the garage, fixing our old lawnmower with rusty tools and sheer determination. His hands were covered in grease, and there was this look of quiet frustration on his face that I'd been seeing more and more lately since the layoffs started. I told him everything, about Jake, about the laughter, about how embarrassed I felt every single day walking into that cafeteria with my makeshift lunch. Dad stopped what he was doing and really listened, not interrupting once. Then he sat me down on his workbench, looked me straight in the eyes with this intensity I'd never seen before, and said something I'll never forget. "Son, expensive things don't make you valuable. Your character does. Those kids making fun of you, they're showing you exactly who they are on the inside. And frankly, it's pretty ugly stuff that says nothing about you and everything about them." He paused, choosing his words carefully like he always did when something really mattered to him. "We might not have much money right now, but we have something way more important than any of those families. We have each other, and we have integrity. Don't you ever let anyone make you feel ashamed of who you are or where you come from." The next morning, Dad handed me my usual brown paper bag, but this time, something was completely different. He'd drawn a superhero on the outside with a red marker, complete with a flowing cape and everything. Inside, along with my sandwich, was a note that read, "For the strongest, bravest kid I know. Love, Dad." I carried that bag proudly into the cafeteria that day, my head held high for the first time in months. When Jake made another snide comment about my garbage bag lunch, I just smiled and held up the drawing. "My dad made this for me this morning before work. What did yours do for you today?" Jake went completely quiet. His face actually turned bright red with embarrassment. Later, I found out his dad was barely ever home, always traveling for work. And when he was around, he mostly just yelled at everyone. Jake's fancy lunch was packed by their housekeeper every morning without any personal touch whatsoever. From that day forward, Dad drew something different on my lunch bag every single day without fail. Sometimes it was superheroes, sometimes animals, sometimes just silly faces that made me laugh out loud in the cafeteria. Other kids started asking if their parents could draw on their lunch bags too. 20 years later, I'm running my own successful business, and Dad still draws on my birthday cards and Christmas presents with the same love and care. That lesson about character being more valuable than possessions, it shaped absolutely everything about how I treat people and how I measure real success in life.